Sometimes I really enjoy that intro tune. And today's one of those days. Maybe it's because it's Friday. How are we doing, everyone? Sam here, United People's TV. As I said, it's Friday. We've got the FA Cup semi-final this weekend. We're going to be speaking about Coventry a little bit later in the show. Sam Bagshaw, I see you in the comments saying 3 minutes late. Tut, tut, tut. You're new here. Welcome aboard. But look, we're here to talk about Coventry. We're here to talk about transfers. Benjamin Sesko. We'll have a little conversation around Michael Elise. And also, what else we got? Well, I'll tell you what. As far as hate watching, is that like a new phrase? I don't know. It seems to be a phrase I've seen everywhere this week. But I'll tell you what. I've been enjoying and feasting watching City, Arsenal and Liverpool this week. We haven't had much to celebrate. So you're damn right I'm going to celebrate when my rivals are failing. And it's Friday. We'll bring the map up. You know the drill by now. Who's here for the member gang? Let's have a quick look. David, happy Friday, my 6-month anniversary. Look at that. Where are we going out? We're going out for dinner. Do you celebrate? I suppose you do in the start of relationships, don't you? You celebrate like 1 month anniversary, 6 months, and 12 months. And anniversaries just get a little bit more boring. Anyway, all lovely and romantic is what they should be. Batman watching from South Africa. Just all around the world is Batman. Stephen, good morning to you. Andrew, we've got who's here from the mod gang? We've got Alex T, Josh and Carl. How you doing? Vicky, good morning to you. We've got I'm feeling chirpy today. Gungshi, how you doing, man? And you're there as well. I think I've just said your name twice. Plenty of you. Who's on Facebook? Let's have a quick look. Tom Bowl, big up to you as well, my friend. We've got Rob, Rich Bell, Wayne Hogarth, Paul Talbot. Good morning to everyone. I feel like I want to have some like music playing here. Just I don't BBC Sport made some seriously good graphics. Look, right. I don't care. I don't care how bad Man United's season is. And it's bad. There is a distinct possibility this will be the worst ever Premier League season that we've had. We finished 7th under Moyes. I hate to remind you. We could well finish 8th under Erik ten Hag this season, given the just Chelsea and Newcastle are around us. We're not particularly informed. Let's see what goes on. But man, I really want to have some funny music playing over this right now. I really should have thought that. Anyway, that's funny. Objectively and subjectively, that is funny. They thought I was finished. Well, 1 out of 4 hungry for more. Well, it could well be that Jurgen Klopp's final season with Liverpool ends up being Erik ten Hag's first season at Manchester United and winning the League Cup. Quad, they said. It's just enjoyable. As I said to you after the games yesterday, like, it doesn't matter what's going on in your house and what's going on in your team. If you can't just point and laugh at your rivals when they fail, and the football's really not for you. Oh, where are your standards? Look at Manchester United. Like, I bet you're fun at parties. I really bet you're fun at parties. Art Attack. Now, that is a 10 out of 10 program. Anyone remember Zap as well? I know I'm exposing my age here. Still feels young to me. That's what old people said. Damn, my parents used to say that. Real Madrid, Atalanta delivering that sweet chin music. Made Liverpool when they scored after like 4 minutes yesterday. You think, oh, they're going to do it. Never mind. What have I got up here? Oh, yeah. Scouse tears always taste as sweet. And it's been, as I said, you know, I've mentioned this quite a few times actually on this channel. Partly the reason that it's been so rough these last 10 years, it's not just been the fact that Man United have been crap. Okay? It's been the fact that Man United have been crap at the same time as Liverpool not winning everything, let's be totally honest. They've only won 1 Premier League. Honestly, Klopp might leave having won the Premier League once in, 8 years? Wow, what an era. And he won it in front of an empty stadium. They have, how objectively funny that is. It's like Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich, banging in like 30, 35 goals this season and still not winning the league. Objectively, that's really quite funny. And you're a laughing point at people, man. Well, not just in general, but your rivals, you absolutely can. Akash, man, you gifted 5 memberships yesterday. Gifted 5 memberships again today. Thank you very much, dude. The gong is working. I didn't actually test the gong before. That was a risk. But the risk paid off. The risk paid off. Now, you know what that means, actually? Again, this isn't really objectively funny. This is just what a turn of events this is. Now, this was the coefficient ranking before the games yesterday. So before Liverpool was knocked out, before West Ham was knocked out. Hence why it says teams active 3 out of 8. That now is only Aston Villa after Villa beat Lille. Man, I watched that game. Villa got dominated for pretty much 82 minutes of the game and then snuck an equaliser from, I think it was Matty Cash, and then won on penalties. And I'll speak about what happened there a little bit there next. But after everything that's happened this season, you know, this big fight that we thought that we were in to get to the 5th place because 5th place is going to be an extra Champions League spot. Imagine how gutting it would have been to have actually, you know, not dropped those points against Brentford, not dropped those points against Chelsea, or not dropped those points against Liverpool. And then we end up finishing 5th, and then 5th isn't even in the bloody Champions League anyway. It's funny. That's the way the cookie crumbles. 10 points to anybody who gets that film reference. That's a very hard one. Unless you know it. But, yeah. Europa League is the best that we can hope for this season. It's kind of been the best that we could hope for a long old time. I'll be completely honest. And I still haven't actually managed to do the research. By the way, sorry about that. Managed to do the research to find out whether or not just being in the FA Cup final with City means we get Europa League. Look at that. Maybe it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. Because 6 or 7 of you came in with Bruce Almighty straight away. Yeah, fair play. Fair play. That scene with Steve Carell when he's the news anchor and then Jim Carrey takes over his voice. I remember me and my sister watching that like on repeat for weeks and just crying every single time we watched it. Every single time. Top tier comedy. Now, you know what the weirdest thing, the last thing we'll speak about from yesterday, is it last thing? No, 2 things we'll speak about from yesterday before we move on and we kick off the show. Firstly, I want to say this is an excellent tweet from Matt Hummels. Good harvesting week, my fellow farmers. Of course, everybody calls Bundesliga and the German league the Farmers League. And you see Leverkusen knocking West Ham out. You see Bayern Munich knocking Arsenal out. You see Dortmund knocking Atletico Madrid out. I don't actually know what happened in the Conference League. I think is that today? Yesterday? Don't know. Anyway, that's 10 out of 10 on the trolling from Matt Hummels. I enjoyed that. And last comment from yesterday. How weird. Like, football's got some weird rules, right? This one absolutely is. That's got to be the weirdest rule I've ever heard. Martinez had a yellow card in the build-up. Well, not in the build-up. He got a yellow card in the game yesterday against Lille. Gets to the penalty shootout. And in the penalty shootout, gets another yellow card. But I never realised that when you reach a penalty shootout, the cards reset. So despite the fact that he got a yellow card in the penalty shootout by doing that, Martinez is an absolute, he's a king of shithousery when it comes to penalty shootouts. Saw what he did in the World Cup. Everyone sort of slated him for it, but it worked. That was a World Cup final as well, wasn't it? Forgot that. What a weird rule. I suppose I've just never really heard of it because I'm not sure there's been a situation where it's been needed. But why does that exist? Why does that exist? That makes absolutely no sense. If you get a yellow card in the game is still going on. Apparently not. Very weird. Very, very strange. Never seen that before. Liam Martinez deserves his own Netflix documentary. If you're not a fan of Villa or if you're not a fan of Argentina, I imagine it's very easy to get wound up by Martinez. Personally, I really quite enjoy it to a certain degree, right? Because there are certain players that just go way too far. And some people might suggest that he goes way too far. But as a goalkeeper, he definitely gets in the mind of the players taking those penalties. And that's what a goalkeeper's supposed to do. You're supposed to marginal gains, if you want to call it that. Martinez, very, very good. A little bit of heartwarming content this before we kick on to the next bit. And we're going to talk about Kobbie Mainoo next. So, Eric Ten Hag meeting Alfie, the lad who was in Old Trafford, bawling his eyes out after we beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. Oh, yeah, by the way, have I shown you that one before? I think I have shown you that one before. These two are probably my two favourite designs that we've got coming out. I should be getting the new samples in next week. And then once the new samples are in, should only be a couple of weeks away. That's what I'm hoping for. Gungshi, how you doing, man? Let's whip Fergie out. Whip Fergie out? Probably shouldn't say that. Anyway.
I can't believe it. Football, by the hell.
There he is. There's the man himself. You know what I've forgotten? I'm really rubbish at this. Sorry about that. I've forgotten that we started the live call-ins on Discord. And I haven't actually set it up for a while. I've left the link to the Discord there. Sorry, everyone. And Alex, you gifted 5 memberships too. Look, you're making Alfie cry. How can you possibly make Alfie cry? That's so unfair. Cheers, dude. Man, the gong is getting an absolute bashing today. Maybe it's a birthday gong. Happy birthday to Kobbie Mainoo, who is the ripe old age of 19 now. I've said this before multiple times. And I'm not saying this just as a direct consequence of Kobbie Mainoo. But to me, it really feels like teenagers are so much better and more developed as footballers more often by the time they reach 18 than I think they ever have been. And I don't know whether you agree or not, but like if you look at what's the name of a centre-back came through again for Barca against PSG? Was it like Kufius? I think we see. Anyway, him. Or Lamine Yamal, who's 16, of course, on their wing. Or if it's Kobbie Mainoo coming through at 18 the way he has. And if you're looking at Conor Bradley when he came through for Liverpool, and there's countless others. It just feels Jude Bellingham, of course, is 20 now. How is Jude Bellingham only 20? That's mad. Kubasi, there you go. That's the name of the Barca centre-back. But it's happy birthday, man. I like this little comment here from Cesc Fabregas, who, if you're speaking about teenagers coming through, remember when he broke through? I loved watching Fabregas. Fabregas at Arsenal was a player. He really, really was. I think he broke into the team when he was 18 as well. He says this, he goes, he plays without fear. And this is what I love about him. He just wants the ball, wants to make things happen. I always talk about the attitude and the personality. This is what makes a really, really good player in the difficult moments. And he is showing that. Danny, gifting 5 memberships as well, man. It is an absolute Friday vibe up in here. Jude Bellingham is younger than Quansah. Really? And Bradley. I didn't know that. Anyway, my point is, what a player. Oh, wrong one. That's Eric Ten Hag. Might have been all right. Was he centre forward? I can't actually remember what position he was. I think we've had this conversation before. I love Kobbie Mainoo. It's hard not to. In fact, it's impossible not to as a United fan. Somebody who plays with that much swagger is such an enjoyable watch. And I would argue is it the hardest position in modern football? I've always, I'll be, someone fire it in the comments, right? What do you think is the hardest position now in modern football? Because last few years, I would have easily argued fullback. Just sort of like the physical demands that were required of fullbacks bombing up and down the pitch was so difficult. But I might switch that now to sort of that central midfielder who sits in front of the defense. I think that's what I would say now. Not necessarily just from like a physical perspective, because I think physically it's still probably the fullback position. But in terms of the responsibility in the game and the physical demands as well, it's like you look at Rodri, amount of games he's played, amount of minutes he's played, he constantly has the ball at his feet. It feels like that's the position that carries the most responsibility and whether a team wins or not, which is what makes Kobbie Mainoo's breakthrough so impressive, right? I see what you're saying in the comments. John, you're saying goalkeeper, any mistake is a goal. I don't think that's ever changed, John. So I wouldn't say that the goalkeeper position now is any harder than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. I don't think the goalkeeper position has changed in the fact that goalkeepers now are expected to be playmakers as well as goalkeepers. So I suppose the goalkeeper position is a bit harder. But let's see what you're saying down here. Someone said striker. No one gives you the ball in dangerous areas anymore, says Prato. Well, somebody needs to give Haaland the ball this weekend. Man, the guy banged in, what was it, 6 and 7? 6 and 7? 6 and 6? Scored in 6 consecutive Premier League games, and he got injured. And then he's just been starved of any service since, which is exactly what was happening at the start. David, Sam, for my 6th anniversary, you choose a restaurant, but you have a budget of how much the super chat cost me. £5. All right, what are we doing for a £5 for a hot date? How much is the Pizza Hut buffet these days? Definitely not £5. I remember doing that once. Left school. Getting how many slices could you do? I think I did 14, 15, and went back for like geography in the afternoon. Lo and behold, I wasn't particularly productive. Funny that. 7 goals in 6 games apparently you got. Holding midfielder, says Craig. Who do you feel would be the ideal partner for Mainoo? Rob, I think that's a video unto itself. There's options. There really are. And it depends on your budget as well, because you could throw Onana in there. You could throw Vifa from Final. Is it Final? I think it's Final in there. You could throw João Neves in there. You could throw Palacios in there, I think, from Leverkusen. There's quite a few. There's quite a few. I've already done 2 transfer videos now. I've done one on the sort of dream of realistic signings for left back, centre back, and central midfielder. And then the next one was the one I did yesterday, day before, I think, on right wingers and strikers. Thuram, you mean from Lille? From Nice. There's options. Did you see this news yesterday as well? By the way, actually, I'll say it in a sec. You see this news yesterday as well? Change to the FA Cup. I'll run through what they are. Replays have been scrapped as a consequence of expansion of UEFA's European competitions. And I've got to be honest, I have a lot of sympathy for just the football pyramid. The only reason that the replays are getting scrapped is because right there, UEFA's European competitions have been expanded. Therefore, they need more space for games. And on top of that, I swear this was only here for a couple of seasons. The winter break has been removed from the schedule. And I think one of those breaks had the World Cup in it. I think we might have had a little break after the end of the World Cup. On top of that, all rounds will be played on the weekends. Doesn't really change too much there. But that's a big difference there, because if you're a smaller club, I think it was only ever replays up to I don't think there was any replays 5th round onwards. I think. I'm pretty sure I'm right. But yeah, all FA Cup replays are scrapped. Now, for Manchester United, probably helps us. For the elite, for the top teams, it probably helps them, because the last thing they want is a replay of an FA Cup game, of a game that they underprepared for, a game that they got slightly exposed in, and again, they came away with a draw. But no, that now goes to extra time. And then, that may suit some teams, but when it comes to gate receipts, because that's the killer. So say, for example, I don't know, call it Stockport. Drew against Man United at home in the FA Cup. The replay would go to Old Trafford, and Stockport would get a big percentage of the gate receipts from Old Trafford. Therefore, a massive boost to the revenue of that team. And that's getting scrapped. And it's just, again, it's just the way that modern football has gone. right? There's so much of modern football I don't like. I'm telling you, the injuries that we've had this season, not just Manchester United, but all teams in general, there's going to be more every season. The schedule is only getting more and more packed. Like, even at youth level, like the under 17s, is it under 17s Club World Cup? I think. Let me see if I'm right here. Was it under 17s? Was it Club World? I don't know if it's Club World Cup. Well, there you go. It's actually just a FIFA World Cup. Is it that one? Yeah, there. That's mad. Like this one, like, you're talking about burnout of players. How about this? Under 17s, I suppose when it's at that level, they're not going to be playing as much football as Premier League players. So actually exposure to a high level competition might actually serve those players. But there's going to be an under 17s World Cup every single year for the next 5 years in Qatar. So 5 consecutive FIFA under 17s World Cups all being held in Qatar. So is this like the amount of, as I said, it might actually serve these players better because their schedules aren't going to be anywhere near as condensed and packed as senior players. So they might actually benefit from something like that. But it's just, this is just the way the game is going and the way the game has gone for a long old time. No more replays because the expanded Champions League used to be called the Champions League, and it's like old man moaning. But that format of the Champions League was tried and tested, man. Group stages, knockouts. It did not need to be changed. And the only reason they changed it is to create more games, to create more TV revenue. It's not to improve the integrity of the competition. If anything, it removes some of the integrity of the competition because another 2 teams have randomly got into the Champions League. What are you champion of? We actually finished 6th in our league, but it's all right. We snuck in. It's more money, more problems. Notorious BIE. Reference point. Banging tune. Might have to put that on now. I'll get shut down for copyright. There's quite a few of you down there in the comments that are mentioning this. I was going to mention this a little bit later, but is this actually now official? Let me check. Because I had this down as a talking point already in my preparation for the show. Sometimes I prepare. So look down there. I don't know whether it's official, but it's probably going to be official quite soon. And that's this. Oh, actually, damn. Who's that? Steve. Steve. Don't know why, it just reminded me of golf. Steve gifting 10 memberships.
I can't believe it.
Come on,
I can't
Fergie.
believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Look at that. Anyway, this is news that's just come out. Mate, thank you very much, Steve. Lucky 10. We've got Mail Stromy, Dog and Justice. Dog and Justice. Anybody else watching Fallout? I'm enjoying it. I think I said it yesterday. Nagelsmann. This is quite an interesting one. Very interesting one when you think about it. Julian Nagelsmann. Obviously, first, some people, they looked at him and went, he'd be a brilliant option for Manchester United. I'm not sure whether it was ever really going to happen. I'll be totally honest, right? But Julian Nagelsmann is going to be staying at the German national team, even after the World Cup. Now, a lot of people had him lined up as the Bayern manager. We all thought that he was going to be going back to Bayern Munich. I said it was strange. I felt it was strange. And lo and behold, he's actually staying with Germany. The reason that's interesting is it now means that Bayern Munich are back in the market for a manager. And Ruben Amorim is going to be going to, and this is what I mean about hypotheticals. This is what makes it so interesting and difficult, I suppose, when it comes to what happens with Erik ten Hag. I said this a couple of months ago, at least a couple of months ago, at least last month. Give me that. And I said, this is what makes it such a difficult market because Barcelona, there's still no confirmation on what manager Barcelona want. Xabi Alonso staying at Leverkusen. Liverpool going after Ruben Amorim. Nagelsmann is staying at Germany. So if you look at options there that are going to be sort of left in the market, I suppose there's quite a few people who'll be speaking about De Zerbi, who's been linked with Barca, and maybe no doubt will get linked with Bayern Munich again. Thomas Tuchel and Erik ten Hag swap seats. I said this yesterday, and I think I'll pretty much maintain this the whole way through. When Man United got Erik ten Hag, I had so much energy behind it. Like, I could see the vision. I could see why he was the outstanding candidate, and I did all my research. Some of it was right, some of it was wrong, but I did plenty of research into it. No matter who comes in, if Erik ten Hag is replaced, there's just going to be so many. There will not be an outstanding candidate. There will not be somebody who's so much more obvious than the rest of them. Maybe Ruben Amorim might have been part of that conversation and saying, look, well, he's an obvious standout candidate. But I think without him, I just don't think there can be. And I think that's definitely going to be part and parcel of the conversation that goes on with Erik ten Hag and with Ineos. That's kind of what I think. Let me see what you're saying down there in the comments. And you're saying Sam could see us sticking with Erik ten Hag until next summer, then targeting Alonso. There's no point targeting Alonso. Absolutely no point. It might be a bad comparison, but I remember when we were interested in signing Martinez and Arsenal were interested in signing Martinez. I remember because I was going to a wedding at the weekend. I released a video, and I was like honestly, why is one person worried about Martinez going to Arsenal? Like, it doesn't matter. And Arsenal were heavily linked with the move for him and obviously didn't go after him. I was like, he's going to come United. He's going to follow Erik ten Hag. It's the exact same the way I feel about Xabi Alonso. There would be 0 point wasting any energy there, because I actually think that Alonso goes to Real Madrid. I think Ancelotti stays for one more year, and then Alonso goes to Real Madrid. I think that's pretty much done and dusted. And if that doesn't happen, then he'll go Liverpool. I don't really think that's the conversation that we should be wasting our time with. The way things are, I'm gonna put this question down here. Right, this is gonna be today's poll. I'm going to run through the poll results I put on the community tab yesterday because I thought that was an interesting one. I don't want your opinion on this one. Honestly, I don't want your opinion. I don't mean that in a horrible way. But do you think Ten Hag will be United manager next season? And the reason I'm saying I don't want your opinion is because I'm not asking you, do you think that Erik ten Hag should be Manchester United manager next season? I'm saying, do you think he will? Regardless of what you want, do you think he will? Because just the way things are shaping up, man. The way things are shaping up, I think Erik ten Hag will be Manchester United manager next season. And it's definitely not down to how well he's done this season. That's for sure, because it's been an abomination of a season. But all circumstances taken into account, in the circumstances of this season and the circumstances of the market and the circumstances of Ineos and what they need to do this summer, and the fact that we've got a brand new board that's coming in. We've been trying to get a CEO and a sporting director and a technical director, and we've been sacking John Murtough and Richard Arnold and everything that's going on behind the scenes, and adding the fact that Bayern Munich are after a manager, Liverpool are after a manager, and Barca are after a manager. There's a lot. There is a lot going on at once. And in all that turmoil, are you going to find the manager you want? I don't know if you can. And I think that's maybe why Jim Ratcliffe reiterated we'd rather walk to the right decision than run to the wrong one. And maybe that's kind of what he means. Oh, no way. No way, man. As if you've just done that, Nuruddin. Nuruddin has come back out of nowhere. Oh, my God. No way. Oh, man. Nuruddin. We've missed you, man. I hope you're feeling better, man. But you've just... Oh, no. Oh, you're embarrassing me now. I don't know what to say at these sort of times. Nuruddin, man. I've missed you. Everybody's missed you. The community's missed you. And it comes back with a bang. That's like Undertaker rocking up. What's been a better return? Most shocking return, or a better return than Nuruddin coming back there? Man, there's nothing I can do here to justify that, but let's turn the lights off for the main man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's so weird now. I want to update this one. I've missed Nuruddin, man. I think you all have. You're all talking about wrestling. I used to love wrestling. Really, really loved wrestling. I was all about the Jeff Hardy Swanton Bomb. That was the one, I think, the trick I always wanted to do. I used to go to like something called the Biz. It's not like summer camp, but it's like, it basically is. It's like where parents send their kids and they just play sports all day. I used to love doing the trampolines and the Swanton Bomb. But Nuruddin, man, man, you are a big reason this community is the way it is, man. More light on the gong. I've already got one big, powerful spotlight underneath it. It's just you can't quite see it on the channel. But that's one of the most legendary things I've ever seen. Where is that? Have I still got that on here? In fact, let me quickly do this. Right, you're gonna have to give me 20 seconds. It's been a while. It has been a while, and we deserve this. We absolutely deserve this. Oh, balls. Where is it? Oh, there. Come on. There he is. There's the main man himself.
Hello everyone at United People's TV. It's Sean Williamson here, formerly Barry from EastEnders, formerly Barry from Ricky Gervais's Extras, and I'll be Barry in anything anyone's willing to pay me to be Barry in, to be perfectly honest. And you know what also? I'm a massive fan of United People's TV. And yes, once again, we have had somebody gift 50 memberships to
150, and it was Nuruddin.
others. Okay, they have gifted 50 memberships to others. You know who you are. It's a massive show of generosity. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts for being such a giver, really.
A giver, just a giver.
And we can't thank you enough. And, you know, I bet someone said to you, you don't have to do that, but you said, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway because...
All right, I'm going to leave it there because he ends up... He went on a nice little solo there. Is it two? Mate, no way is it 200. Oh, my God. Mate, Nuruddin, man, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you've got done what you needed to get done. And seriously, seriously, welcome back, man. Is Nuruddin secretly Barry? I don't know. That's a good question there. It could well be. But, man, yeah, it's all downhill. It's all downhill after that, man. I love doing live shows. Of all the stuff that I've done here on United People's TV, I'm trying to think of the things I'm most proud of. Video-wise, a video I'll always be probably the most proud of is a video I did after the protest when United fans got the Liverpool game cancelled. I did that all myself, and I think it's the best video I've ever produced. That's number one. Number two is the live shows that we do here together. Like the community that's got built off this, and the Discord that's been built off the back of it is all completely organic. 100% organic. It's just United fans, and they've all come together, like-minded United fans that are all, you know, just all friends, I suppose. Friends and family. And also number three is the videos that we've started to produce, which are the little mini documentary videos. I think those three things, they're the things I'm most proud of, man. Yeah, the personal videos as well, I suppose, are quite exposing to do, but both times I've done them, it was the right time to do them, and I think they helped a lot of people. And if you ever get in the position where you've got a platform, you should try and help people, because there's enough assholes in the world. Try and spread good if you can. If you need to be an arsehole sometimes, you can be an arsehole sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. But look, I've got it up on screen here. This makes me feel old. I remember collecting Panini stickers, and that I don't know why, but I remember it. But I remember the Coventry shiny so much. That was when like Darren Huckabee used to play for them. Let's talk about it. All right, we're 36 minutes into the show, and I've still got all the transfers to speak about, which is the headline of the show. Let's have a quick couple of minute conversation around Coventry, and then we'll move on to speak about Sesko. We'll speak about Sancho. We'll speak about striker signings and a little bit more. But Coventry on Sunday, Erik ten Hag's press conference is coming out a little bit later today. I'll be watching that, and after that, I'll release my starting 11 video. I know what to expect on Sunday, but I just don't want Manchester United to get ruined by complacency. All right? I've only just realised that Coventry have got an elephant with a... Why have they got a medic elephant on their badge? Holding a castle. Am I missing something here? Is that a flag, or is that a medic elephant? Somebody help me. What is this? Any Coventry fans watching? Can you please explain? Can you please balancing on a football? Is that a Templar cross? So they got a Templar elephant holding up a castle, standing on a football. Yeah, so I haven't got any beef with medic elephants, man. Just don't really see a purpose of them. You're in war. Medic! Elephant starts walking out. Not really sure that's working. Apparently it's to do with Coventry Castle. Then no. What else they got? They got a griffin on fire. It's like Fire and Ice. It's like a Game of Thrones advert. Do you reckon George Martin's ever going to finish that book? Well, I was reading about it the other day. All the deadlines that he said he was going to hit and he's missed. Well, it's not St George's Cross, I know. Anyway, enough about the medic. Right, elephants can be doctors too. I'm not an anti-elephantist man. Anyway, can we speak about the football? It's a phoenix, not a griffin. Oh, my bad. My bad. Sam, how dare you? It's not a griffin. Sorry. Wayne, you gifted 5 memberships. Is that for a little Phoenix teaching course? I mean, to be honest, we've got a devil in the ship. But obviously, we know why that is the case. What do you think about the game? Mark Robins, of course, is Coventry manager. Mark Robins, of course, was the scorer of the famous goal that got Man United... Was it in the quarterfinal? He scored that? I can't remember what round it was, but that was when Fergie, that was a season where people were questioning whether he was going to be the manager, won the FA Cup that year, and obviously things changed. Will the same thing happen with Erik ten Hag? Don't know. Absolutely don't know. But that really, I don't care what you say. That is one of the most bonkers club badges I've seen. Third round, apparently it was. We'll see, right? I'm going to fully preview that game later on. And you know what's even madder? How old's Jim Ratcliffe? '71. He's doing the London Marathon at 71. I mean, fair play, mate. Fair play. I went to watch it once. It was actually quite fun. But jeez, how are his knees coping with that? Man, he's fit. He's got that sweet billionaire money. I would look great if I was a billionaire. Even at 71. Right, let's move on. Actually, I'll tell you what. This is what I wanted to quickly run through yesterday. Well, I'm going to start doing these more often. I think it's quite a fun thing to do. I'm going to start doing more, probably daily content on the community tab on YouTube. We can put some polls in there. So if you have any ideas for stuff, we can do some transfer questions. You say if you could choose between signing one. In fact, I'll do one more on there. Should I do it now? Should we add it now? Right, let's start a text poll. This is going to be a question I wanted to ask on here. If you could sign one, which would you choose? Right? So you can go and add your answers on here now or not, because this is going to be the conversation we have next. Benjamin Sesko or Ivan Toney? If you could sign one for Manchester United this summer, which striker would you choose out of those two? So if you head over to the community tab on YouTube, the results will be, I'll leave the results there, and on Monday we'll come back to them and we'll see what they are. Make sure that poll actually worked. Did that poll work? Might have ballsed it up. 1 second there. Am I on the wrong thing? No, I think it worked actually. United People's TV, community. There we go. Right, it's there. Cool. But look, these are the results from yesterday. And I asked you, I said, what position do you think is the priority? And it's not to say that, lots of you in the comments, by the way, you all said this. You're like, every position, I'm looking for all of the above. But overall, just 42% of you said centre-back and 40% of you said central midfielder. I think I would agree with the majority there. I would agree with that. I would personally say that, and the reason I said like priority signing, like which do I think is the most important that we have to get right this summer? I think it's a centre-back and then a central midfielder. Would I agree with the order? Centre-back, central midfielder, striker, left-back, and then right winger. Or left-back, striker, and right winger. I think that's probably pretty much bang on, if I'm honest. Which moves us on to a conversation around Benjamin Sesko, right? Let's go up here. Let's get this article up there. 1 second. This is from the Evening Standard, and they're talking about... No, that didn't actually work. Talking about Benjamin Sesko, right? And saying that Arsenal are stepping up their plans to sign him. You can see down there at the bottom, saying that Sesko's representatives have been guests at both Chelsea and Manchester United matches this season. Now, if I'm correct, Benjamin Sesko has a €50 million release clause, 42 million. And in the grand scheme of things, it's a relatively fair, very fair price for a player of his age and quality. I think he's 20 now, thereabouts. And then you got Ivan Toney. I'm going to go down here. We've seen you got and Dokum. You're saying Toney is Premier League proven and ready, of course. Sesko any day says Kev and Hush on Facebook. It's going to go. Jonathan, you're saying we won't sign another 20-year-old centre forward. It's part of my thought process too, if I'm honest. Centre-back and number 9 over there. Definitely not Tony, says Ron on Facebook. He thinks way too much of himself. Look, man, I don't really mind about egos in football. I probably would actively encourage egos in football to a certain degree. If you can prove it, it's like Conor McGregor, right? Up until the point where he lost his first fight, his ego and charisma carried him and made him the person that he was. And when he lost it and he started going loopy, then it all kind of crumbles. But if you deliver on your ego, then your arrogance isn't arrogance, it's just confidence. Self-confidence comes across as arrogance and an ego to people. But when you are the best and when you're at the top, like Ronaldo, for example, perfect example, his ego was unrivaled. And it carried him and made him the best player in the world. And also that ego is what's kind of ruining him towards the end. Because he's still got that ego and he's not quite as good. So I actually don't think that egos are necessarily a bad thing in football. But if I was a Brentford fan, I'd want to boot Tony out of the club, man. Like, they've waited what was it, 11 months for him? I'll go and check the results of the Sesko and Tony poll. I'll leave that up over the weekend. And I'm gonna start doing more stuff and regular content on there, because actually I think it's a really cool way to keep the community active outside of the live shows. So I'm gonna do some stuff in there. 900 votes, by the way, on do you think Erik ten Hag will be manager next season? Not do you think he should, but do you think he will be? And 77% of you are saying yes. I'm in agreement with that 77% now. That's where I'm currently am mentally. Of course, that can change. Between now and the end of the season, do I think that can change significantly? I don't really think there's going to be... Maybe get knocked out to Coventry might accelerate that. Maybe. But we'll see. But Benjamin Sesko, my personal instinct is that I don't think we'll be able to afford a striker of that quality when... Oh, I was going to bring that up next, actually. I don't think we'll be able to afford a striker of that quality when we need, in my opinion, 2 centre-backs, a central midfielder, and a left-back. That's 4 big signings before we get a striker. Now, maybe we play it smart in the market. Maybe we get, was it Tada, the Fulham centre-back. Tadarabiyoyo? I can never get his name right. Sorry. Anyway, free agent. Him and maybe Jean-Claire Todibo, and you get 2 centre-backs for less than 50 mil. Maybe. Maybe not. Then you get a central midfielder, which will be expensive. Probably be I reckon the most expensive signing we make this summer is probably going to be our central midfielder. Adara Biyoyo. Okay. Sorry, mate. I've annihilated his name. Tosin. That's much easier. And then left back, I think we'll probably sign a young... I think also we're getting linked with, so for example, I'll sort of run through this. Like Muppeteers and James, clearly their info is solid. Kind of has been for a long time, in and out of the club. I've been sort of quietly watching them and I suppose admiring in the background. Wish I had that sort of access to knowledge. I wonder what I'd do. I don't think I would have come out as an in the know, because being an in the know is such a quick fire way to ruin a reputation. As soon as you get one thing wrong, everyone's like, slap him down. But this is the sort of the transfer chart as far as his info goes and the players that we're linked with. And you can see the ones in green, the ones that there's been the strongest links with so far. Olise, which I'll speak about in a second. Hjulmand, which we've spoken about from Sporting Lisbon as a central defensive midfield target. Ait Nouri, who's the Wolves left back. And if you've watched him, he's a good player. Very technical. If you haven't watched him, just go and watch some highlights. He's a good player, but he would be expensive, and he would be pretty much a first. In fact, how young is he? I don't actually know how young he is. Ait Nouri. 22. Yeah. I imagine if he was signed, he would be signed as a starter. Whereas I personally think, especially if Erik ten Hag stays for one more season, he wouldn't want to choose. Wouldn't like Steve. You just sent a super chat there saying we don't have a left back that isn't broken. It's surely a priority. In my personal opinion, no. The priority has to be centre back. Has to be centre back. We needed Todibo last season. Yeah, we've had issues all season at left back. But we'll sign a left back. But I think it'll be a young one. I don't think Luke Shaw will be just kicked out of the team by Erik ten Hag next season. And kind of nor do I think he should. However, it's clear now that if Luke Shaw's going to have any place in this team, it's going to have to be balanced. We're going to have somebody. And that's why we wanted Taro Malacia. But we don't know whether he can even kick a ball for us next season. Abner, you're saying is Alvaro coming back from Benfica? Well, as it stands, Benfica aren't going to sign him, not even for 6 mil. Don't know what happens then next. But Hjulmand's up there, and you can see the other names that are linked below him. He's actually not got a Vifa there from Vifa. Max. Let's call him Max. Onana. Don't know who that is, KDH. Thuram. Gomez, Fofana, who's from Monaco, I think. Zubimendi. Don't know who Hackney is. Lots and lots of names. I think the two names on the centre-back list that there's strong links with so far, Branthwaite and Kilman from Wolves. I think that's Wolves' captain. So maybe we are going to be taking a quick look at Wolves. Harry Mass, of course, is a real question to ask. Because if you sign a young, up-and-coming left-back, would you really do that? Or would you take Harry Mass and give him the faith to be the alternative to Luke Shaw next season? It's a real possibility, and it's not just cheaping out. It's about understanding the technical qualities that you do have. And I'm not saying that Amas in his own right and position is as good as Mainu or Garnacho, but he certainly stood out. He only joined in the summer from Watford, right? And he's absolutely walloped it since he joined. It was a really, really good signing. Good young signing. So maybe it's not about signing a young left back. And maybe I've just completely got that wrong. It's amazing how many people ring me when I'm on live shows. Should answer one of these days. See how funny it is. Probably wouldn't be anything interesting, I'll tell you that. But yeah, maybe the opportunity would be to sign an experienced left back. Then that's not going to excite anybody. Don't actually know. Curious to that one. I've kind of done a little bit of a, not a U-turn, but I've kind of put the handbrakes up on signing on the idea of signing a left back who's young. This is why I haven't done my dream summer transfer window yet, because I'm still letting it develop. I don't think there's any point in doing that until the end of the season. Once the season's finished and I can really have a proper look at everything, then I can tell whether or not we sign it. But signing Ait Nouri would be like basically signing a first choice left back. And then what happens with Madisia? Some people down there saying Luke Shaw's going to leave. I mean, really? I mean, that would be pretty damn ruthless, considering how important he was last season. And of course, up front, like we spoke about Benjamin Sesko. We spoke about Ivan Toney. Guirassy was a player that we were linked with in the January transfer window, because he was having a red hot season up until that point. He's continued that. He's got 8 goals in his last 8 appearances, scored in the last 6 consecutive games, was named Bundesliga Player of the Month, has 27 goals in 25 games, and has a release clause of 17.5 million euros. That's cheap. And given what in this summer window, I think there's only 2 types of striker that we sign. We sign either somebody young enough that they don't need to start every single week and are happy being sort of roped, because Højlund will be our main man. So Sesko, I don't know whether you can keep Sesko happy like that. And you definitely can't keep Ivan Toney happy like that. Ivan Toney comes in, his expectation is he's starting every single game. Every single game. And if you don't, he'll get pissed. And that's where the ego would be a problem. Same way as if you left Ronaldo on the bench and his ego became a problem. But someone like Guirassy, who's 17.5 mil, at that age, could well be the opposite end, which is the experienced striker. I think it's one of the two. Really young or really experienced. I don't really think there'll be anything in between. Because I don't think that would suit. And I kind of don't think I think that's where Ivan Toney sits and why he doesn't really suit me. Not suit me. But 17.5 mil euros, that's cheap as hell. And maybe he's an option. And interestingly enough, Arsenal are getting linked with strikers who are way out of our price range. All right? Isaac, Gyökeres from Sporting now. Both of them are going to be way north of 75 mil. Mate, Alexander Isak is an absolute top class striker. He really is. Right up there in terms of the best finishers that the league has. But he will go north of 75 mil. And be way, way too much compared to what Manchester United could actually afford. So it's not really a conversation that could or should be happening. Isaac, sorry, not Isaac, and then Olise. I think lots of people have concerns about his injury record, but Olise's a very good player. I think Crystal Palace have really mismanaged and mishandled his injuries this season. Isaac, whatever. Alexander, how about that? Try and have a go at the pronunciation of that one. But this summer's going to be interesting. I think Arsenal are really going to... I think they're just probably going to support Arteta, who ultimately has failed this season, but their team looks better. Their team has been better. But still, it's that last 5% is the hardest 5%. Breaking through. Josh, if you say anything about James Wilson's growth, I'm going to ban you from the comments. How about that? Pipe down. Good luck buying someone from Newcastle, says John. Oh, yeah, they'll just add 30 million on and just give you some ridiculous terms for negotiation. Summer's going to be a mad one. It really is. And I'm so excited to cover it here on United People's TV. I can't tell you how much of a level up the summer coverage here on United People's TV is going to be. All digital whiteboards. Everything's going to be legit. Like images that swipe on and swipe off for players who are linked with us. It's going to feel like it's going to be a step closer towards TV level. So make sure you please do subscribe to United People's TV and please drop a like on the video. All right? Makes a big, big difference. And Nuruddin, thank you, man. You're enabling me to do so much more. And all of you have been. A quick last little conversation before we move on to map day. Now, is kind of was my reaction to seeing this. Like, yeah, obviously. Why wouldn't you? You literally got Barcelona, who are rebuilding their stadium right now, and Real Madrid, two of the 5 biggest clubs in the world that have just rebuilt their stadiums. Of course you're going to take inspiration from them. Like, that Real Madrid stadium is a masterpiece. Type it in the comments. How much do you think the rebuild of the Bernabeu has cost Real Madrid? Type in the comments. I'm going to scroll down here because you'll probably see it. Yeah, you would see it. Let me see if they've got any photos of this pitch. No, they don't. Anyway, how much do you think it costs? Right? Oh, damn. We got a direct answer straight away there from Cedia Cal. 1.5 billion. Look at that. The revamped Bernabeu was not completed in 2017. Huh? I swear that opened like last year. This year? Last year. There is absolutely no way. I might have reading that wrong. This is the Times. Ladies and gents, there's no way that the revamped Bernabeu was completed in 2017. That's completely wrong, isn't it? Anyway, well, I now can't trust the fact that they've... Was it started in 2017? Well, they just put the wrong word then. Anyway, 1.5 bill. Just, that must be a typo. There you go. I feel better now. 1.5 bill just to revamp the Bernabeu. That's how big that revamp was. And we've heard prices of upwards of we've heard prices of around about $1 billion to redevelop Old Trafford and to build a new stadium. Was it 2 billion? 1.5 billion. Thereabouts. Mate, the Bernabeu is just like, it is a masterpiece. It's like an underground greenhouse, 7 layers. Everything is pristine, perfect. Roof on the Bernabeu, such steep sides. Just because it's slap bang in the middle of Madrid, surrounded by streets. So it has to be steep. Anyway, my point here is, yeah, of course you are. As if you wouldn't look at what is going on with the new camp and the Bernabeu. You wouldn't be doing your job properly if you didn't. Oh, Like I don't know why I'm going to tell you this, a bit random, about how expensive construction is now. I got my bathroom done. Well, the ensuite, I got it redone last year. Man, it's tiny. We're talking like a shower, a toilet, a sink, and maybe enough room to do one step forward and one step there. It's like a box. It costs like $5,500 to get something that small done. I thought, no, there's no way. This cowboy is rinsing me. So I got another price and it was the exact same. I thought, oh, balls. This is just how much it is. Like the construction costs are insane. So that's really not going to help Manchester United when it comes to the stadium. It's just that construction costs now are as high as they have ever been, which is kind of ironic. United have waited so long to do this that when they finally do it, it's as expensive as it has ever been to do. United till I die. How you doing, man? You just gifted a membership and you joined. Yeah, I know. Material costs. That's what I mean. Like just the cost of construction now is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. So that, you know what I need to do? Yeah, let's build a new stadium at that point in time. Oh, you nailed that one. Well done. Talk about timing. But I suppose, well, the Glazers were never going to do it, so it had to happen after. Man, is it 11:06? I've been waffling for ages. An hour and 2 minutes today's show. It's time for the map. I need to get like a map song. Map song. A map song. Let's see if we can get a map song. What should we do? Let's have like a carnival song. I probably shouldn't do this. Story of my life. Gonna do it anyway. It's gonna be risky. Let's go for instrumentals only. And let's try not to burst everyone's eardrums. I'm just gonna press 1 and see what it is. Let's turn that down a bit. Come on then. Where are you watching from? I'm joking. I'll try and find like an actual proper map song. But let's see where you're watching from. Let's get some on the map. We've got Justin watching from Oberdoblik in Austria. Don't know why I did that. Oberdobling in, is it Bavaria? You sure it's not in Germany? I mean, I suppose you know where you live. Oberdobling. Right, on you go. You're on the map. Who's watching from Facebook? Let's have a look. From Facebook, we've got Amjad watching from Maza in Damascus. How you doing, Amjad? From Maza. Oh. In Damascus? Is Damascus the capital of Syria? I got that completely wrong. I'm normally quite good at capitals. Let's go back to YouTube to see who's watching from YouTube as well. That sounded like it could be the backing music for a Chucklevision sketch. I quite enjoyed that song, to be fair. And we've got Stephen watching from Conwy in North Wales. Big up Wales. Conwy in North Wales. The Conwy Scenic Railroad. That's where you apparently are. I'm gonna give you that one. 600 points on the map now. Jeez. We could be here for a long time. Right, I have been here for a long time. It's an hour and 5 minutes. Toby, you're gifting 5 memberships to end the show. What a ledge. Yeah, to tell you what, I'm going to gift 5 memberships as well. Can I do that for me? Membership gifting. I'm not going to gift 5 memberships. Come on. That'd be stingy of me. Well, anything is going to be stingy of me compared to Nuruddin, who's basically Santa Claus of every year. There's 10 gifted memberships from me. Thank you, everybody, for a fantastic week here on the United People's TV. I'll be here back on Monday with a live show, but I'll be back here today at lunchtime with the Coventry starting 11 and predictions. I'll be back here tomorrow with a little mini documentary on Rooney, which may be one of the favourite ones I've ever done. And I think you'll love it. Then Sunday, FA Cup semi-final, I'll be here with a match reaction. as always. I might try and get the arms open as well, see if I can get it back done. But big up to all of you for tuning in. Nuruddin, welcome back, man. Love you. Love the community. Love you. I want to put that song back on. Damn it, I've closed it now. Big up, everybody. That was a long old show. Take it easy.